Hi, my name is Presley Nguyen, and here's my ID. Presley Nguyen, that's me. And I'm going to do my presentation today on my life experience on how to save money and budget while in college. I've also learned a lot of things while doing this project, so I hope this helps. So the first thing that I've learned is to get help anywhere you can. There's so many places where you can get help. Financial aid. If you don't qualify for financial aid, you can have loans, and there's also, if you have the chance to get help from your parents, that's personally how I've been getting help. So use all your resources. For example, I've been living at home for the past 2 years while going to community college to save as much money as I can in my situation. Um, I've realized that I don't need to pay rent, so I can live at home. So step one into how I like to save money is to figure out what's your need and what's your want. If you know the difference, you won't be questioning the certain expenses that you're going to be having. So values, needs, and wants are different for everybody. Personally, for me, a need would be rent, food, gas, but for some people, a car is not a necessity for them. So you have to figure out what is a necessity for you. The second is to set your goals. Do you want to take summer classes? Do you want to go to get your master degree? Or do you just want to kind of just take the bare minimum classes as much as you can in your budget? So a couple of different types of goals are short term, intermediate, and long term. Short term would be, oh, I have a vacation in the next couple days. Intermediate, oh, I'm taking a couple more classes next semester. Long term, grad school. So the next step is to know your income and expenses. Make sure that the amount of money you take in, especially as a college student, I'm a part-time worker, I'm not a full-time worker, so my income is not the amount where I should be spending like a full-time employee. So find out your income and expenses for a period of time. For me, 2 weeks, I shouldn't be spending like a full-time employee if I make a part-time paycheck. So make sure you know the difference. Another helpful tip for me as a college student, I'm taking accounting, is some expense reports. I like seeing everything laid out on a weekly basis, written down, and I'm like, maybe I didn't need to eat out 5 times a week. There are a lot of things like that. Another helpful thing is not to go crazy on yourself. There are things that happen. Maybe you forgot to pack lunch, maybe a medical emergency. You have to make sure your budget is flexible so you don't kill your savings account while you're just making a purchase. A next step is to make a spending plan. Make sure you know a couple everyday expenses that you need, or every week, or every month. Like rent, if you pay rent, you need to make sure you're planning for that. A good spending plan is to make sure that you know your future expenses and your future income, so you're not shocked by things that you need to purchase. Well, you know they're going to be coming. So other helpful tips are student discounts. This has helped me so much in my life. You just forget about it sometimes, and it can save you 10, 15 to maybe even $100 at any store. You can always try it too. Most stores always have student discounts. This is another example of how I've written down my spending plan. This is more on a bigger basis. It shows me a more general idea of how much money I'm spending. It's not in a weekly basis, but it shows me big picture stuff. This is probably the most important step, is sticking to your plan. It's the hardest, most important. You have to be not so lenient if you want to save the most amount of money. You have to make sure that you're disciplined, that you can control your spending, especially if things happen where like tuition is higher one time, or just there's a lot of instances that can happen where you can't control it. So you need to make sure you're not spending things on useless things, I would say, impulse buys. Another way to help is to evaluate your plan. Is it working for your lifestyle? Is it working for your scenario, with your income, with your life? You have to make sure it's not too difficult and not too lenient. So this is like a brief overview of what I've talked about. These 5 steps are not the whole key to saving money in college, but they've really helped me learn discipline and how to save as much money as I can in every aspect of my life, my social life, my financial life. So I just hope you guys enjoyed, and maybe try out one of these tips. Maybe when you're at a restaurant one day, see if they have a student discount. If you're going to the mall, see if they have a student discount, see how much money that can save you. And that little thing while being in college can help you out a lot. Thank you.